Is running a marathon bad for your health? This is a serious and interesting question. Many people think of running as a great way to stay healthy. But a marathon is not just a simple run. It is an extreme sport that pushes the human body to its absolute limits. People who run marathons feel a great sense of achievement. They train for months to cross that finish line. But behind the excitement, there are real health risks. Some people even worry that running a marathon could take years off their life. A marathon is a long-distance running race. The official distance is exactly 42.195 kilometers, or 26.2 miles. It takes most non-professional runners between 4 and 5 hours to finish. It requires a huge amount of physical and mental strength. Runners must train for many months to prepare their bodies for this challenge. The training involves running shorter distances and slowly making them longer to build up endurance. It is a serious commitment. So why do so many people want to do it? The attraction of the marathon is powerful. For many, it is the ultimate personal challenge. Finishing a marathon is a huge accomplishment that proves you can do something incredibly difficult. Another reason people run is for the community. This sense of shared experience creates a strong bond. Finally, people run for their health. Now we need to talk about the most serious risk of running a marathon: sudden cardiac death. This is when a person's heart suddenly stops working during or right after the race. The original marathon runner Pheidippides died after his famous run. This story is a constant reminder that this sport pushes the body to its absolute limit. A major study published in the New England Journal of Medicine looked at marathons and half marathons in the United States over a 10-year period. They found that the rate of sudden cardiac death was about 1 in 184,000 participants. This is a very low number. For comparison, your risk of dying in a car accident is much higher. The main cause of these deaths is usually a hidden heart problem. Many runners who experience sudden cardiac death have an underlying heart condition that they did not know about. A person can live their whole life with one of these conditions and have no symptoms at all, but the extreme stress of a marathon can trigger a fatal event. Besides the risk of sudden death, a more common problem runners face is called hitting the wall. This is a term used to describe a point in the race where a runner suddenly loses all their energy. Their legs feel incredibly heavy, their pace slows down to a walk, and they might feel dizzy, confused, and completely exhausted. So what is happening inside the body when you hit the wall? It is mainly about energy. Your muscles get most of their energy from a type of sugar called glycogen, which is stored in your muscles and liver. If you use it all up before you reach the finish line, your body has no more quick fuel left. It then has to start burning fat for energy, which is a much slower process. Hitting the wall is not just an unpleasant feeling, it can cause real damage to your body. If you hit the wall at kilometer 25, you still have more than 17 kilometers left to go. Studies have shown that when this happens, your body goes into a kind of survival mode. Certain proteins in the blood, like troponin, can increase sharply. High levels of troponin are also seen in people who have had a mild heart attack. Running a marathon causes a lot of stress on the body, and much of the damage is not visible from the outside. Let's start with the immune system. After you finish a marathon, your body's ability to fight off sickness is significantly weakened. Research shows that for up to 3 days after a marathon, your immune function drops sharply. For some people, this weakness can last for as long as 2 weeks. Your muscle system obviously takes a beating. The constant pounding on the pavement for over 42 kilometers causes micro tears or tiny rips in your muscle fibers. This is what makes you feel so sore for days after the race. While this muscle damage is a normal part of hard exercise, a marathon pushes it to an extreme level. The stress also affects your internal organs, like your kidneys and liver. These organs are responsible for cleaning your blood and getting rid of waste products. Even your gut is not safe. A 2023 study found that about 30% of marathon runners experience gut problems after a race. This can include nausea, cramping, and diarrhea. This might sound scary, but there is some scientific evidence that suggests running too many marathons could make you age faster. The evidence for accelerated aging comes from looking at something called telomeres. Telomeres are the protective caps at the ends of our chromosomes, which hold our DNA. You can think of them like the plastic tips on the end of a shoelace. A study published in a sports medicine journal in 2021 looked at the telomeres of amateur runners. They found that runners who completed more than 10 marathons per year had significantly shorter telomeres in their white blood cells. Their telomeres were so short that it was equivalent to their cells being 8 to 10 years older than their actual age. This effect was even more noticeable in female runners. It's also important to understand that the final part of the marathon causes the most damage. The first 30 kilometers are very tiring, but the body can usually handle it. However, the last 12 kilometers are where the real harm happens. Research from Japan has shown that the physical damage that occurs in the last 12 kilometers is more than double the damage from the first 30 kilometers. Hearing all these risks might make you think a marathon is a terrible idea. But the beauty of this challenge lies in combining passion with science. If you prepare correctly and run smartly, a marathon can be a safe and rewarding experience. First and most importantly, get a proper heart checkup. A standard physical exam might not be enough. Consider getting an exercise stress test or an echocardiogram, especially if you have a family history of heart problems. Next, you must train gradually. This is a golden rule. Do not increase the distance you run each week by more than 10%. This slow and steady approach allows your muscles, bones, and heart to adapt to the stress of running. A better approach is to train using heart rate zones. Spend about 80% of your training time in your aerobic zone, which is about 60 to 70% of your maximum heart rate. You also need to be smart about how often you race. For most amateur runners, racing 2 to 4 marathons per year is a reasonable limit. This gives your body enough time to fully recover between races. Finally, you must learn to listen to your body and be willing to quit. If you feel dizzy, have chest pain, or feel extremely tired during a race, do not be a hero. It is okay to stop, rest, or even drop out of the race. To show that marathons can be a healthy part of life, let's look at a real-life example. At the 2024 Boston Marathon, a 45-year-old runner from China named Mr. Zhang successfully finished the race with a time of 3 hours and 45 minutes. His training approach is a perfect example of running smart. He only runs 2 marathons each year, follows a strict heart rate-based training plan, and focuses completely on recovery with foods like salmon and blueberries. The results of his healthy approach are clear. Mr. Zhang's medical checkups show that his heart and lung function are 30% better than the average for men his age. He also looks much younger than his 45 years. His story teaches us a valuable lesson. Running a marathon does not have to be a destructive act. When done with knowledge, respect for your body, and a focus on health over speed, it can be a powerful tool for staying young and vibrant. So, we come back to our original question. Is running a marathon bad for you? The answer is not a simple yes or no. A marathon is a double-edged sword. It can be a source of incredible achievement, improved fitness, and personal growth. For those who do choose to take on the marathon, preparation is everything. Your health must always come first. Challenge yourself, but do it wisely. Run for joy, run for health, but most importantly, run smart so that you can keep running for many years to come.